Hare Krishna, dear devotees, let us chant one round of japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namo Om Vishnupadaya, Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namane, Namaste Saraswate Deve, Gauravani Pracharini, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi, Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Ram. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Let's recite Bhagavad Gita shloka. We are reciting from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text 34. Let me just bookmark this.
Mataji, can we read first?
Yes, you can read first. You are first in line anyway, in alphabetical order. Go ahead.
Nitya sarvaharastaham ubhavascha bhavisyatam kirtirshirvakcha narinam smiti medhadirashama. Translation.
Dhriti Kshama.
Vidikshama. Translation. I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Nitya sarva harashaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam kirti srirvakcha narinam smritir medha dhriti kshama. I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Achintade Prabhu. Oh, actually, Lokesh, go ahead.
Hare Krishna ji.
Hare Krishna.
Mrityu sarvarasya udbhavascha bhavishyatam kirtishrirvakcha narinam smriti medadritirkshama. I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavats from Srila Prabhupada. Jai Guru Maharaj.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mrityu sarva haraschadam udbhavasya bhavisyatam kirti srirvakcha narinam smritir medha dhriti shama. I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Thank you.
Okay. Achintade Prabhu. Not there. Okay. Isha.
मृत्यु सर्वहरश्चाहम् उद्भवश्च भविष्यताम् कीर्तिः श्रीर्वाक्शनारीणां स्मृतिर्मेधा धृतिक्षमः क्षमा
Shamaha is not there. Shama.
I know. Smritirmedha dhritikshama. I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience.
Krishna Shishi is going to recite.
मृत्यु सर्वहरश्चाहम् उद्भवश्च भविष्यताम् कीर्ति श्रीर्वाक्शनारीणां स्मृतिर्मेधा धृतिक्षमा. I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, and speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience.
Madhava is not here. Rasapriya is not here. So, Priyanka Haripriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mrityuh sarvaharashchaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam kirtihi srirvakchanarinam samritir medha dhritihi shama. I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience.
Hare Krishna. Vindhyavali Mataji.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Srila Prabhupada. Mrityu sarvaharashchaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam kirtistirvaksha narinam
Snitim Meda Dhritikshama. I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Achintadev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada, all glory to the assembled devotees.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please repeat. Mrityu sarvaharashchaham
Mrityu sarva haraschaham
udbhavascha bhavishyatam
udbhavascha bhavisvatam
kirtihi shrirvakcha narinam
kirtir shrir vakcha narirnam
smritir medha dhriti kshama.
smritir medha ditik shama. Translation: I am all devouring death. I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, I think everyone has recited. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, text 34. Mrityu sarvaharashchaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam kirtihi shrirvakcha narinam smritir medha dhriti kshama. I am all devouring death and the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Usha Mataji, will you recite the verse?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all praise to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mrityu sarva haraschaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam kirtisri vakcha narinam smritir medha dhriti kshama. Translation: I am all devouring death, and I am generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, and steadfastness and patience. Thank you, Mataji. Medha.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mrityu sarva harashchaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam kirtihi shrirvakcha narinam smritir medha dhriti kshama. Translation: I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of all that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience.
Yes, thank you. So let's read Srimad Bhagavatam now. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 7. The descendants of King Mandata. Yes. So we were reading about Harishchandra. Yes. Harishchandra had a son called Rohita. So you are familiar by now the connection between Mandata and Harishchandra. Mandata's descendant is Trishanku. Trishanku's son is Harishchandra. And about Harishchandra we read that he didn't have any sons. So on the advice of Narad Muni, he prayed to Varun Dev to bless him with a son, and he also said that he would sacrifice that son. He would perform a sacrifice with that son if Varun Dev granted him a son. So Varun Dev said okay, and then he got a son. He named him Rohita, and Varun Dev came. He said, now you perform the sacrifice. So he said, newborn, when an animal is just newborn, it's not fit to be sacrificed. So you have to wait for 10 days. Then after 10 days, Varun Dev came. He said, now you can sacrifice. He said, actually, you have to wait until the teeth to come in. Then the animal is pure enough to be sacrificed. So Varun Dev waited for 6 months. And then when the teeth came in, he said, now you can sacrifice. He said, actually, these teeth need to fall off. Then, so he said, okay, he waited. The teeth fell off. Again, Varun Dev came. Then he said, Harishchandra said, no, after the baby teeth fall off, permanent teeth have to come in, then the sacrifice. And he said, okay. He came back when the teeth came in. He said, but he has to be trained as a Kshatriya. Only a well-trained Kshatriya who is able to defend himself against an enemy is fit for sacrifice. So Varun Dev said, okay. So Rohita got trained, and by the time he got trained, he understood, my father is going to sacrifice me for Varun Dev. Oh, this is not good. So he left home and went into the forest. And then while he was in the forest, with his bow and arrows to defend himself, meanwhile, this Harishchandra got dropsy because Varun Dev gave him that. Harishchandra didn't fulfill the condition. So he got that dropsy, and his stomach, his belly was enlarged. So then Rohita found out. He thought, oh, this is not good. So he wanted to go home to help his father. And then Indra forbade him and said, no, you should not go back now. Instead, you should go on a pilgrimage for 1 year to all the holy places. By this, you will gain enough pious credits. So Rohita said, okay. He went on pilgrimage for 1 year. At the end of 1 year, now he was ready to go home. Indra said, no, you cannot go home yet. Go on pilgrimage again. So the second year again, he went on pilgrimage for 1 year. And after completing, now he was ready to go home. Again, Indra came in the form of a Brahmana and said, no, you cannot go home yet. You have to perform. In this way, for 5 years, each year, again Indra would come. And for 5 years, Rohita went on pilgrimage. And we can understand he accumulated enough pious credits also. Now when he came back home, what did he do before coming home? He actually bought a slave who was the son of one person, Aja. Do you remember the name? Okay, I'll look up if you don't remember. So the slave was actually the son. So the father of the slave sold him, and Ajigartha. He purchased the son of Ajigartha, second son of Ajigartha, called Shunashepa. And then he presented this Shunashepa to his father Harishchandra and said, you can offer him as sacrifice to Varuna. And then he offered his obeisances to Harishchandra. So Harishchandra, this was the yagya that he was performing, a very famous yagya, right? With all very elaborate yagya he performed. Who are the priests? Vishwamitra Muni, Vashishta Muni, and 2 others. They were performing this yagya. One priest was chanting from Samaveda, another priest from Yajurveda. Vishwamitra Muni was pouring the oblations, and Vashishta Muni was the chief priest, like that. Priestly Brahmana. So this was the yagya of human sacrifice that was being offered to Varuna. Then, because remember, we heard that, anyway, we'll just read. So we read, thereafter the famous King Harishchandra, one of the exalted persons in history, performed grand sacrifices by sacrificing a man and pleased all the demigods. In this way his dropsy created by Varuna was cured. That means Varun Dev was also satisfied. Actually the condition was Rohita should have been sacrificed, but when this Shunashepa was sacrificed to Varun Dev was pleased, and Harishchandra was cured of his dropsy. And all the demigods were also satisfied that the yagya was completed. Harishchandra kept his word. So we have to continue reading from there. Remember we said that in the Yagya, Vishwamitra Muni became angry with Harishchandra, right? So anyway, that we read in some context, some other context. How Srila Prabhupada said how even someone,
The fight between Vishwamitra
yes,
Muni and Vashishta Muni. So
yeah,
that's why
however exalted one may be in the material world, still uh, he is not free from the miseries of material existence. To tell that, Prabhupada quoted that in the purport, how they fought with each other, and the context, the situation was Vishwamitra Muni in that yagya became angry with Harishchandra. And then he demanded that all his wealth and all his assets should be offered to Vishwamitra Muni as a dakshina. So Vashishta Muni didn't agree with that, like that. So they cursed each other to become birds and they fought, like that we saw. So now let's continue reading. Priyanka Mataji is supposed to read, but Usha Mataji, you didn't read yesterday, right?
No, Mataji.
So maybe the two of you can read, just because they don't get a chance. Usually they just go away. By the time it's their turn, they're not there. So let them read and then we'll go to Priyanka Haripriya Mataji. We'll start with text 22. We read this also actually yesterday. In that great human sacrifice, Vishwamitra Muni was the chief priest to offer oblations. The perfectly self-realized Jamadagni had the responsibility for chanting the mantras from Yajurveda. Vashishta was the chief Brahminical priest, and the sage Ayasya was the reciter of hymns of Samaveda. Like this. So I told you how there are 4 priests in one yagya. Next one. Tasmai tushto dadavindraha shatakaumbhamayam ratham shatakaumbhamayam ratham shunah shefasya mahatmyam uparishtat prachakshate. So yeah, Usha Mataji and then Medha.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
King Indra, being very pleased with Harishchandra, offered him a gift of a golden chariot. Suna Shepa glories will be presented along with the description of the son of
Vishwamitra.
Vishwamitra.
Yeah. Okay. So Harishchandra completed his sacrifice successfully. He offered Shunashepa in the sacrifice. It was a human sacrifice. So by this Indra, so that all the demigods were pleased. We saw that earlier in the earlier verse. All the demigods were pleased. And Varuna was of course pleased. So the king of all demigods is Indra. Indra was also very pleased with Harishchandra for completing the sacrifice. So being satisfied, and also you see, when there is a sacrifice, all the demigods get a share, isn't it? So they are all pleased. Whenever sacrifices are performed, the demigods are pleased. So King Indra, being very pleased with Harishchandra, offered him a gift of a golden chariot. Okay, that's the end of the sacrifice. Indra gave a golden chariot to Harishchandra. Shunashepa, one more thing, the person who was offered in sacrifice, remember when we read about cow sacrifice and horse sacrifice, we read there that it is not really, even in Chaitanya Charitamrita it comes, that offering an animal in sacrifice and killing an animal in the slaughterhouse is not the same. When you kill an animal in the slaughterhouse and you eat that animal is not getting any better destination. In fact, you are actually stopping its normal course of cycle. Abruptly, you are stopping it. It should have lived in that body for more years, but you're just stopping it by sending it to slaughterhouse, killing it in a slaughterhouse. Whereas when you offer an animal in a sacrifice by chanting Vedic mantras for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu, right? Why for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu? Because all the yagyas, Yagya Purusha is Lord Vishnu. So indirectly that yagya is meant to satisfy Lord Vishnu, even though you're doing some kamya karma. Kamya karma means you want some fulfillment of material desire, so you're doing it for some demigod, but the demigods cannot directly take anything, right? So, and these yagyas are done in accordance with the Vedic injunctions. They are not whimsically done. So, when cow sacrifice or horse sacrifice is done there, we see that the cow gets a better destination. Usually they select old cows, but the result of that sacrifice would be, first of all, they would be testing the power of the brahmanas who are performing, chanting the mantras, and also the efficacy of the mantra itself. How do they know that the sacrifice is a success or not? The animal that is slaughtered in the sacrifice gets a new body, comes back to life in a fresh new body in front of everyone. So the animal is not really at loss. If you didn't offer it in sacrifice, it would probably die in that old body and get some other body according to its evolution. But when you offer it in a sacrifice, it can even get a higher body. It can take birth as a human being. Or at least minimum, it will get another cow body, but a young, strong cow body. So there is a benefit for the cow. So similarly, we can understand here also, when a human sacrifice is done, it is done for, to satisfy the demigods. That means it's being done according to Vedic injunctions. Then there must be benefit for that and the person who is being sacrificed. What is his life right now? He's living as a slave. So what is the life of a slave. Doesn't say a servant. It is said a slave, right? A slave is treated like an animal, basically. So it's a miserable life, being a slave, if you don't have a good master. But when such a person is sacrificed, he will certainly get a better destination. So better than what he is in the current situation. So here in this verse it is said, those are just some, my thoughts on this verse, as I'm thinking about it. So the Shunashepa's glories will be presented along with the description of the son of Vishwamitra, Vishwamitra's son. So when we describe Vishwamitra's son, there we will also hear about the glories of the Shunashepa who was sacrificed in Harishchandra's yagya. So just remember Shunashepa. Satyam saram dhritim drishtva sabharyasya cha bhupatehe Vishwamitro bhrisham prito dadava vihatam gatim. Shamati.
The great sage Vishwamitra saw that Maharaja Harishchandra, along with his wife, was truthful, forbearing, and concerned with the essence. Thus, he gave them imperishable knowledge for fulfillment of the human mission.
So this yagya was performed by Harishchandra Maharaj. Lord Indra was pleased and gave him a golden chariot. The great Vishwamitra Muni, who was the chief priest who was offering oblations, right? Swaha, like that, who was offering oblations in that yagya, he was also very pleased with Harishchandra. He saw that not only Harishchandra but also his wife, both of them were very truthful, very tolerant, and concerned with the essence. That's also interesting. Concerned with the essence, right? So seeing this, Vishwamitra Muni was pleased and he blessed them with the imperishable knowledge for fulfillment of the human mission. Very interesting. If you remember Nabhaga's story, Nabhaga's son is Ambarish Maharaj. We saw in the previous chapters. Yeah, before Saubhari Muni, chapter 2. We read about Ambarish Maharaj. There we saw Nabhaga when he went to Lord Shiva and said that, oh, my father said that it actually all this wealth belongs to you. Lord Shiva was very pleased with, first of all, his obedience to his father, right? And also his selfless service, truthfulness. Seeing all these qualities, Lord Shiva didn't just give him all that gold and all that wealth, but also he gave him transcendental knowledge. It is said there, isn't it? So this is the benefit advantage of satisfying great personalities, right? If a great personality, a sadhu, a great devotee, if that devotee is pleased with you, then by their blessings you can get transcendental knowledge. So you should first understand what pleases sadhus and you should try to please them like that. So here also we see Harishchandra Maharaj was truthful and very tolerant and also always seeking the essence. Saragrahi. This is the quality of a Vaishnava. Vaishnava is called Saragrahi. Sara means the essence. He is always seeking the essence. Essence means, best example is a Hamsa, a swan. You give milk, water, everything mixed with it, and so many things are there. It doesn't care for all the other things. Even if you give a mixture of everything, it will simply take the milk portion. Saragrahi. It will take the essence only. Doesn't pay any attention to the unwanted things. So Harishchandra was Saragrahi. He was only concerned with the essence. Seeing this quality along with the qualities of truthfulness, right? He was truthful to his word, to Varuna. Although he had affection for his son and he postponed, but he didn't intend to just, cheat Varuna. Eventually he fulfilled his condition. Tolerant and finally seeking the essence. Seeing this, what did Vishwamitra Muni do? He was very pleased and he blessed him with transcendental knowledge. What type of knowledge? Now that knowledge by which one can fulfill his human mission. So now, Priyanka Haripriya Mataji. Manah prithivyam tam adbhis tejasapo nilena tat khevayum dharayam staccha bhutadau tam mahatmani tasmin jnana kalam dhyatva taya jnanam vinirdahan itvatam svena bhavena nirvana sukha samvida anirdeshya pratarkena tastau vidhvasta bandhanah. Mataji, Priyanka Haripriya Mataji. You can read the purport and total.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj Harishchandra first purified his mind, which was full of material enjoyment, by amalgamating it with the earth. Then he amalgamated the earth with water, the water with fire, the fire with the air, and the air with the sky. Thereafter, he amalgamated the sky with the total material energy and the total material energy with spiritual energy. This spiritual knowledge is realization of one's self as part of the Supreme Lord. As a part of the Supreme Lord. When the self-realized spiritual soul is engaged in the service to the Lord, he is eternally imperceptible and inconceivable. Thus, established in spiritual knowledge, he is completely freed from material bondage. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the ninth canto, seventh chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Descendants of King Mandata.
So this is the, yes, Mataji. So when one follows this jnana path, right, for realizing the absolute, or even Ashtanga Yoga path for realizing the absolute, then first first of all, realizing the self as part of the Supreme, right? That is called, actually there are stages of realization. I'll just read it again. Maharaj Harishchandra first purified his mind, which was full of material enjoyment, by amalgamating it with the earth. So what is happening here? Purifying the mind by amalgamating it with the earth. Then he amalgamated the earth with water. So the water with fire. This is like the reverse of creation. When there is annihilation, universal level also same thing happens. Because the grosser elements come from the subtler elements. So reverse will happen at the time of annihilation. The grosser elements go and merge into the subtler elements. And a yogi is actually able to do that with his body also. All the earth portion of his body, he will amalgamate into the previous one, right? The water. Water into air, air into fire, fire into ether, like that. So Harishchandra Maharaj amalgamated his mind with the earth, then the earth with water, water with fire, fire with air, air with sky. Therefore, he amalgamated the sky with the total material. After this, amalgamating his individual bodies, then you amalgamate all with the universal total material energy. The total material energy with spiritual knowledge. What is that spiritual knowledge? The spiritual knowledge is realization of one's self as part of the Supreme Lord. Right? So, when the self-realized spiritual soul is engaged in service to the Lord, he is eternally imperceptible and inconceivable. Yes. So, imperceptible because, when you are in samadhi, actually, when you are in samadhi, you don't even see yourself. You are simply seeing the object of your meditation. That is samadhi. It's as if you don't even exist because you're completely focused on the object of meditation. That's the final stage of Ashtanga Yoga. So, when the self-realized spirit soul is engaged in the service to the Lord, he is eternally imperceptible and inconceivable. Thus, established in spiritual knowledge, he is completely freed from material bondage. That means he has reached the stage of samadhi. So, thus end the Bhaktivedanta purpose of the 9th canto, 7th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Descendants of King Mandata. So, where did we end? The descendants of King Mandata, we came to Harishchandra, the son of Trishanku. Aditi Lata Mataji.
Mataji, remember we had one, I had one question. So you explained that Bhagavatam is the devotees who are not in a pure state, but they eventually become a pure devotee. That's the process they show how they are transforming.
Yeah, not pure devotees means, yes, by taking the process, they become pure devotees. They are not eternal associates coming down from the spiritual world.
Correct.
Rather, by taking to the process of bhakti, they become, perfect.
Yeah, but here we see that he's not in the, I mean, they are not showing about pure devotional service at all. It is karma kanda, and then, he's getting samadhi stage, but not a pure devotee stage. Why is that?
No, not like that. See, pure devotee stage means, is Dhruva Maharaj pure devotee or not?
He became pure devotee, yes.
He
by the-
became.
yes.
By what process?
Yes, by not by devotional. Yes, by
Ashtanga Yoga.
Ashtanga yoga. But
Ashtanga Yoga is used as a tool in pure devotional service. How? There is one common feature between Ashtanga Yoga, which is also found in Bhakti, Smaranam. Ashtanga Yoga means what? Coming to Samadhi. That is one of the limbs of Bhakti. That is there even in Bhakti. You have Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. So that's why when somebody is practicing Ashtanga Yoga, but if their goal is Bhagavan, not Paramatma, or not what to speak of some getting some siddhis, because even Hiranyakashipu also followed Ashtanga Yoga. Does that mean he's a pure devotee? No. So really, what is the goal that you're aspiring for? That is important. Anya abhilashita shunyam. What is your abhilasha? That is important. Whether you're for taking the path of Ashtanga Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga means Smaranam, meditation, or you're taking shelter of other limbs of bhakti like Shravanam, Kirtanam. Systematically, you're going either way. But what is your object? That is important. So, what was your question?
so Mataji, he's not, this samadhi is not a devotional samadhi, like the pure devotees when they go in, like in a higher stage, they are having that. Because he was also, like guided by Indra to do, pious activity like karma kanda. You do pious activity and then you will be getting benefit, as well as everyone. I mean, he was totally into karma yoga only, and ultimately he got perfection in the karma kanda because of karma kanda. So why are they
No. Why you're saying he got perfection because of karma kanda? Because that yagya he performed and that's why he got perfection, you're saying?
No,
No.
because remember Indra was telling him that do this, go to the Rohit. He was saying that go
That
to,
was his son.
yes,
But
son.
we are talking about Harishchandra Maharaj. It is said, the last verse is saying how he, took shelter of the Ashtanga Yoga system, and he ultimately he was Ashtanga Yoga system means he's merging his mind with earth with water, his body, and finally the total material energy is merging into the spiritual knowledge. The spiritual knowledge is that I am a part and parcel of that Supreme Lord. As soon as you see yourself as a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, means Bhagavan, means it's bhakti because I'm a servant and he's master and my duty is to render service to him.
This is Ashtanga yoga only. That is how they do it in the Paramatma.
Not all Ashtanga yogis do like that, not all of them. That's why what is your goal is important. Someone is practicing Ashtanga yoga to lose weight nowadays. Someone else is using Ashtanga Yoga to create another heaven like Vishwamitra Muni. Yes, you can do that. And someone else is, so that means to get siddhis. Creating another planet is also a siddhi, like Anima, Lagima, Mahima, Prapti. So one of the siddhis, you can read another's mind, you can create things with your siddhi. So you are performing Ashtanga Yoga to get some siddhis. That's not pure devotional service. And someone else is practicing Ashtanga Yoga to go and merge into Brahman. His goal is to go and merge into Brahman. That's also not pure devotional service. Someone else can do Ashtanga Yoga to merge into Bhagavan, the person Bhagavan, but go and merge into him. That's also not pure devotional service. Then pure devotional service means there has to be, my Lord and I am his servant, and there is exchange of devotional service. Of course, the details are not given here, and I also don't know exactly, but we know that Harishchandra was a great king, ancestor of Dasharath Maharaj, coming in the line of Ikshwaku, and his glories are sung even in the heavenly planets, like that it is said. But exactly what category of devotional service he falls into, I don't know.
Yes, Mataji. That is why I was little confused, because all the other stories which we hear in Bhagavatam is ultimately ends in pure devotional service and becoming a pure devotee.
It doesn't say here that he went and merged into the Lord or anything. So we cannot conclude that this is not like others. See, this spiritual knowledge, ultimately he merged into spiritual knowledge. This spiritual knowledge is realization of oneself as part of the Supreme Lord. As soon as you say Supreme Lord Bhagavan, I am a part of Bhagavan, Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nitya Das. When you see I am a part of Bhagavan, then the next question will be, what is my duty towards him? When the self-realized spirit soul is engaged, Prabhupada is even saying here, Prabhupada means this is the translation. When the self-realized spiritual soul is engaged in the service of the Lord, he is eternally imperceptible and inconceivable, thus established in spiritual knowledge, is completely freed from material bondage. Okay, it is said he's freed from material bondage, so he is liberated. You can think like that also.
Okay.
Nirvana Sukha Samvida. Yeah, we'll have to look into, if you want to get more details,
If you
we'll
have
have
any
to.
Acharya's explanation, if you find something, let us know.
Okay, I will look up.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Vindhyavali Mataji.
This sounds like we're doing prayers, when we sit at deities, and we put some fruits and everything, and we tell God, give me this, give me that. So that kind of thing is not a devotional service. When you are asking and selfishly and you are doing some puja, that doesn't mean that you are doing puja for bhakti, with bhakti.
Yes,
Don't you
Mataji. So, Bhakti
yeah,
has many types.
yeah.
Many types of Bhakti. The best Bhakti, topmost Bhakti is Shuddha Bhakti or Ananya Bhakti.
Yeah,
So, this is not Shuddha Bhakti.
that's what I'm
Shuddha
saying.
Bhakti means, yeah, Shuddha, but at the same time, you cannot say it is not Bhakti. That's also one type of Bhakti. Because Prabhupada also says, at least they are going, Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukriti norjuna arto artharti jigyasu jnani cha bharatarshava. Krishna is calling them also four types of devotees. But they are coming, someone is coming because they are in misery, they want to get free from that misery.
That's what I'm
Someone
saying.
is coming, yeah, that is also, but it's not pure
Pure
devotional service.
bhakti. It's not pure bhakti.
It's not pure
It's
bhakti.
pure bhakti. Just don't ask anything. Do the puja and do pray God and just do what you're supposed to do. That's all. But when you are
Pure,
aiming something back, if I'm giving you something, if I'm thinking that, I gave her something and she didn't give me anything, that is not a bhakti. That is not love and affection. Is that right?
so yeah, of course. But Shuddha Bhakti, we go by definition. Shuddha Bhakti, yes, that is one aspect. What you said, you don't expect anything in return for your devotional service. That is one aspect. That is Anyabhilashita Shunyam.
Shunyam. Mm-hmm.
But simply, if somebody is doing that, that itself is not sufficient. That itself, if somebody is not expecting anything in return for what they are doing for Krishna, that is part that fulfills one condition of Shuddha Bhakti. Simply doing that does not qualify for Shuddha Bhakti. Shuddha Bhakti should satisfy all three conditions. First condition is Anyabhilashita Shunyam. You don't expect anything in return
Anything.
for the devotional service that you do. That's the first condition. Second condition is Jnana Karmadi Anavritam. That means you don't take shelter of any sadhanas of jnana or karma. When you do bhakti, you don't feel that I also have to do this duty, that duty, you know, you don't feel that. As if I still feel like, no, I have some duty to my community, to my family, I have to do this duty, or I'm a Brahmana, I'm a Kshatriya, I should do my duties, duty bound in this world. That will interfere with your Shuddha Bhakti. So that is also part of the definition. Continuously we should be doing only Anukulyena Krishnanushīlanam. That which is favorable, and Krishnanushīlanam means directly Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam. That. Any one of these, either with your body, mind, or words, 24/7, 24/7, even in the night. When one is doing like this, and after doing all this, he does not expect anything in return, but he just keeps doing this 24/7. He is not doing anything else except bhakti, and after doing all this, he does not expect, I did so much, so certainly my Lord should reciprocate like this. No expectation. That is Shuddha Bhakti. That is why Shuddha Bhakti is topmost, and it is very, very rare to be a Shuddha Bhakta. Then what are all of us doing? That question comes. We are all aspiring to be there. We want to be there. Like, when there is a race, right? We are all running. So we want to be a Shuddha Bhakta. How Shuddha Bhakta means? It's a state of your consciousness. Again, doing devotional service, it's love, right? A state of consciousness. Now for Shuddha Bhakti, what you need is Shraddha. You should have that Shraddha that I need to do only Bhakti. Even if I don't do anything else, it's fine. If I simply do devotional service and I don't have to do anything, I don't have to worship anyone except Krishna. Not that little bit for Krishna and little bit for Rama, little bit for Vishnumurti, little bit for Surya, little bit for my son, little bit for my ancestors. No, undivided, only Krishna. Ananya. Anya means others. Ananya means no one else. Ekeha Guru Nandana. This is Ananya. So, this type of consciousness we want to get. I don't have it now, but that is my goal.
But Krishna says, do your duty. That's what he told Arjuna.
So,
do your
that
duty
is not
as
that
a
is
human
not Shuddha
being.
Bhakti yet. Why? To do
Yes.
Shuddha Bhakti, you need Arhata.
That's true.
So, Arjuna is a Shuddha Bhakta. If Arjuna is a Shuddha Bhakta, why Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna? Why he is telling him about Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga? Tell me. Because
but he asked him to do
Arjuna,
duty, He asked him to do your duty. That's what he said.
I'm telling you, that's what I'm coming to. He said, but why he is telling Arjuna? Arjuna is Shuddha Bhakta. We all know. He's a Shuddha Bhakta. Why Krishna is telling Arjuna, you should do karma, and then Nishkama karma, then Jnana Yoga, then Ashtanga Yoga. Why Krishna is telling this? Because Arjuna is playing the role of all of us.
Yeah, that's true.
Therefore, he is speaking. Arjun does not need to do, but we all need to do. Why we need to do? Because we are not Shuddha Bhaktas. If you are a Shuddha Bhakta, you don't need to do any duty. But to do Shuddha Bhakti, you need the qualification. If you don't have that qualification, dhobi ka kutta na ghar ka na ghat ka. Meaning, translation, if you are a washerman's dog, you neither belong to home nor to the river. You are in the middle, because that will become, or you neither belong here nor there. Your situation becomes like this. So, what is the qualification for one to do karma? What is the qualification for one to do Shuddha Bhakti? And what is the qualification for one to do Jnana? One should know very clearly. These are the three subjects that are described in Bhagavad Gita. First 6 chapters are talking about karma, Nishkama Karma Yoga. Middle 6 chapters are talking about Bhakti. And last 6 chapters are talking about Jnana. The details of this will be explained in Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto. Who is eligible to do karma, who is eligible to do bhakti, and who is eligible to do jnana. Just like if you want to become a doctor or go to a medical school, first you have to fulfill certain conditions. Simply having a desire is not sufficient. You have to have the credentials first. So, if you don't have the credentials for Shuddha Bhakti, then what should you do? You should do karma. That's why Krishna is saying, you do your duty, but do your duty with this consciousness. Nishkama karma. Do your dharma without expecting the result. Do it for the sake of doing it, whether it is happiness or distress, whether it is victory or defeat, whether it is profit or loss. Under all circumstances, stick to your dharma. Why? By doing your dharma, you will get purification of heart, antakarana shuddhi. That means you are progressing in your spiritual life. And when you're purified like this, then you will become receptive. When you meet sadhus, you'll become receptive to hear from them. And when you hear from them, what do you hear? You hear about bhakti, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Then your shraddha in bhakti will increase. Your shraddha in Bhagavan will increase. Yes, I don't need to engage in this demigod worship, that demigod worship. It's not needed. If your heart is not pure, you must have had this experience. When you tell people who are too much into materialistic way of life, they are not receptive. They cannot take it. They see that, oh, this is not for me. But when your heart is purified, and at that time when you hear from sadhus, it makes sense. That means your shraddha is increasing. And gradually, by hearing in the association of devotees, your shraddha and bhakti will keep increasing. And one day, when your shraddha becomes 100%, that means now you don't have any faith. You don't have any faith in duties in this world. You don't have any faith in jnana, that I have to follow this jnana path, different, for example, jnana, you do yoga, right? Sometimes devotees also, I have to practice yoga for my health purpose. But if you are a pure devotee already, you will need, like, I think I told you once, Tukaramji, his son was small boy, he was sick, really sick, had very high fever. So Tukaramji's wife was concerned. You didn't take him to doctor, you didn't give him any medicine, he's going to die. So Tukaramji says, what is a better medicine than the name of the Lord? My dear boy, please say Panduranga, Panduranga. And the boy starts chanting Panduranga. So that means this is the Shuddha Bhakta. Shuddha Bhakta has no faith in medicine. He has no faith in doctor. He has no faith in food, or he no faith in nothing. He knows, completely convinced, that if I simply do bhakti, bhakti means Navada Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishman of this. I don't need anything else. I don't need food. I don't need sleep. I don't need shelter. I don't need anything. This is a Shuddha Bhakta. Am I in this consciousness?
No, we're not. We are not.
We are not.
And I
So
agree.
then, when we don't have this type of Shraddha, then what should we do? Artificially, if we pretend that I'm also a Shuddha Bhakta, what will I do? I'll live, because I'm a Shuddha Bhakta, I leave everything here, and then in Shuddha Bhakti, I don't have that Shraddha, I will cheat. So that's not required. So therefore, Krishna says, you stay where you are. Whatever you're a housewife, a mother, you do your duties, because in Shastras there are duties. Varnashram dharma means what? Every varna, every ashram has their duties. You do your dharma regardless of whether you're getting profit or loss, whether there is happiness or distress. Under all, like we saw, the wives of Saubhari Muni. It is distressful to go into the forest, but it is dharma for a chaste wife. They followed. What is the result of sticking to your dharma like this? The result is you will actually be making spiritual progress by sticking to dharma. But just because this is said, we cannot say following dharma is Shuddha Bhakti now. No. This is a different level, that is a different level. But by following this, eventually, by coming in the association of devotees after our hearts are purified, by following dharma, simultaneously, little bit, hearing from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, chanting also, some bhajan we are doing, then eventually our Shraddha will become full, and at one point we will not have any faith in any of these things. Don't get me wrong, when I say you don't have any faith, that means you leave everything. You can leave if you wish, and you will not be held responsible for leaving your duties, right? You give up your young wife or your children and you go and take sannyas, you will not be held responsible that you have given up your duties. Why? Because you got Purna Shraddha in Bhakti. But someone who didn't get Purna Shraddha, but he wants to get away from all the headache, my God, maintaining family too much, I'll take sannyas. That type of sannyas is running away from your duty. You
That's
will get a sinful reaction for that.
right. You're right.
Therefore, Shuddha Bhakti means condition is Purna Shraddha. Whether you have Purna Shraddha or not, that has to be seen. Right? So when we don't have Purna Shraddha, do your duty. That's why Krishna tells Arjun. Why is Krishna telling Arjun to do his duty? Arjun is already a pure devotee. He doesn't need to do. Still Krishna is telling him why? For our sake. But even those who are pure devotees, they don't have any faith in dharma, in work, karma in this world. But to said like Arjun, right? He's acting, fighting as a Kshatriya, doing the duties of a Kshatriya. Why? To set example for all of us who don't have Shraddha yet. So similarly, there are other great kings, other great personalities like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, right? Like Srila Prabhupada and like Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. Even after getting Bhagavad Sakshatkara, still they go back and do their duties as Kshatriyas. They are doing yagyas like Mataji was saying, Aditi Lata Mataji was saying, Karma Kanda he is doing. They do that. Why? Not because they have faith in that and they need that, but to set example for the rest of the people who don't have faith yet. If you don't have faith, you have to do something to do your dharma properly. With again, the consciousness is whether there is profit, loss, happiness, distress, victory, defeat, under all circumstances, you stick to your dharma. By doing your dharma, you will get purification of heart.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank
I
you.
have not yet reached there too.
Yeah,
At this
so
age.
that is step one for all of us to realize that we are not there.
Not
Instead
there.
of thinking that I'm already there, I'm a pure devotee, then there is no scope of improvement, isn't
No.
it? But now when we know we are not there, this is the standard, this is the definition, and I'm here, I have to get there. Oh my God, I have to go so far. Krishna, please help me.
Yes.
That's our stage.
Sarvadharman Yaja.
Yes, then Krishna will help. And of course, we have to do the needful, right? So
Yeah, we have to do our job too. Yeah. Just
I'll
sitting
take
like that.
Neelambari Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Thank you very much.
Neela, thank you, Mataji. Neelambari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Dandavat
Mataji,
Pranam.
you said worshipping only Krishna, not Rama, not other demigods. So Rama and Mahaprabhu and Rishinga, they are separate, not in the same category.
So what is your goal? Where do you want to go?
So yeah.
So don't get distracted. That's the point. Like Ekeha Kurunandana means just focus. You want, your goal is Krishna, Golok Vrindavan Dham, then simply focus on Krishna.
But it is said that difficult to Krishna. Krishna is worshipping Krishna instead of Gaurnitai. It's
Gaurnitai and Krishna
worshipping.
non-different. No problem. Chaitanya
Okay.
Mahaprabhu, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahe Anya. So if
Yeah,
you're
okay.
worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Radha Krishna, it's the same thing. No problem.
Okay, so actually Gaurnitai is merciful. If we make mistake, it will be excused. But for Krishna, it is a little bit
It's
tougher.
better. It's better to worship Gaurnitai.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
That's what my question was. Okay, thank you,
Yes.
Mataji.
Sure. Okay. So what time is it? I don't see.
Mataji, one quick this thing note that Prabhupada also used to go to, I mean, when he had toothache one time, I heard that he went to doctor, and he also used to, after doctor's recommendation, he used to do morning walk, he used to do walk for himself. So we also have to maintain our body. It's not
Same thing, Mataji, what I told just now.
even for
And
pure
then,
devotees. That's what I'm saying. We have to maintain our body.
no. Point is, where is his Shraddha? That's the point. Just same thing what you said about Harishchandra. You said he's also doing all this. Or I gave you examples of Dhruva Maharaj, he went back and he ruled his kingdom. Prahlad Maharaj, he ruled kingdom. Priyavrat Maharaj, he married again and, and again no, he married and he went and he ruled the kingdom. Why? If they have full Shraddha, they went back, means
They were told, no? Dhruva Maharaj was told he didn't want to. He was still said that he was told that no, you go back and you rule, and then he will after.
Because he had that desire before, he wanted a kingdom better than. So the Lord said, I will give you. So then it's not like he said, he was feeling, oh my God, kahan se kahan maang liya maine ye? What to do now? The Lord wants to give me. Because that was the whole purpose why he started in the first place. Isn't it? He came to the forest, he was worshipping the Lord. But when he saw the Lord, then all his other desires just vanished. He was completely in ecstasy simply seeing the Lord. But when the Lord said, here, you will rule for 36,000 years, then he was thinking, oh my God, I was looking for broken pieces of glass and I got the rare jewel, but I lost that now, like that. But anyway, eventually he went back. But
But health,
no,
we have to
even
take care of
whether the Lord said it or he went it, the point that we should understand is when they do it to set example for others, not because they have faith in it. Same thing with Srila Prabhupada.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, that has to be very clear in our heart. When someone is a pure devotee, he has no faith in anything else, save and except in Krishna. There are other stories. Stories means history of Srila Prabhupada. When he was in Vrindavan, I'm not remembering exactly the details, but he had such high fever and, but I'm not remembering the exact pastor. I remember the feeling that I got when I heard it. The essence was that how much faith he had in Krishna. He didn't have faith in anything else. The doctor suggested you should do this, that. No. He just stuck with this is. Anyway, if I come across it, I'll tell you again. But yeah, the bottom line is those who are pure devotees, they have no faith in anything else.
Oh,
And
for
even
the
sometimes
kidney, when he was told to go to this Ved and that Ved in Vrindavan, that time he said
that was in Vrindavan.
yes.
Oh.
When he went back, no, he was not well. So
No. This is before he even came to the US, when he was living in Vrindavan. Yeah. His health was very bad, but yeah, I'll let you know when I hear that again. I'll let you know. But yeah, no, they don't have faith in anything. If it appears that they are doing some things, it is simply to set example for others. And just like, let's say, one more thing is, maybe parents are fasting, they are capable of doing Nirjala Ekadasi, let's say. But then they know small children, they won't be able to fast, but they want to copy. Then the parents may say, okay, we can eat potatoes and we'll eat this. Why the parents are eating? To set an example for the children, right? Not that they need it themselves. Like that, when even sometimes it appears like pure devotees are taking medication and or doing this and that, that means they're actually, they do it. Even if they do it, they're not thinking that this is what is saving my life. You understand the fine line there. They do whatever is, you have rules. They obey the rules of the government, right? When you travel internationally, customs, they go through all that. They follow all the rules. If they say, I don't have faith in this, so I won't follow, no, they follow. But they have no faith in that. That's the point. They don't have any faith in that. But they just do it as a matter of formality. In their heart, they have no faith in that. That's the point. Achintya Dev Prabhu.
Mataji, is this example valid? Like in his childhood, when he had cholera, Prabhupada's father was told that the doctor told him he should have chicken soup, but Govindan, went to Krishna and put him in front of him. He was not given chickens.
No, actually, the way it goes is the doctor said he must be given chicken soup, and yeah, it was not cholera. I think it was like chicken pox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like
So chicken pox, and then they said he needs some, protein or
Arunika is
whatever.
saying typhoid.
Yeah, it was.
It was typhoid.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yes, Mataji, it was typhoid.
It was typhoid. Okay. And then the doctor said, no, you have to give him some chicken soup or something. And then the father said, no, we cannot give. So the doctor said, I'll make it in my home and I'll bring and I'll give, but you have to give him. Otherwise, he won't survive. What to do now? He has to live first, right? So then they gave him. But Srila Prabhupada vomited the whole thing. It didn't go inside his system at all. Like that.
okay, because
Like
I watching that Charu Maharaj's series Abhay Charan, there it was shown that after that his father took him to Krishna and kept him in front of Krishna.
Achha. Okay, yeah, I don't know about that, but in Prabhupada's morning walks, Prabhupada tells about this.
Okay.
About this, he himself says this. So he was saying that, yeah, even at that age when he was little, he never, it didn't go with the system at all like that. So yeah, so not having faith in that, you're saying, even if you give it, yeah, so they just, as you said, they just put Krishna, Prabhupada in front of Krishna. We have this in, anyway, yeah, there are some other examples, but you get the point. They only depend on Krishna, even externally. Sometimes they may do things, they do it for the sake of society, like family members. Sometimes people have to worship demigods in their in-laws' homes and this and that, not because they feel that if I don't worship the demigod, then the demigod will become upset and something bad will happen in my family. No, that's not the purpose why, even if you see sometimes pure devotees, in case you see them worshipping the demigods, they will only be doing so as to not disturb the people around, with the ultimate goal of bringing them to Krishna consciousness. Their goal is always to bring everyone to Krishna consciousness, but immediately, depending on the readiness of the other person, if the person is not ready, they may do certain things just so as not to disturb them, like that. So that's another example. But about health also, uh, you will see Prabhupada's quote, right? Prabhupada says, the doctor cannot do anything, the medicine cannot do anything, right? If Krishna mare Krishna rakhe Krishna mare ke. They're convinced about this. Convinced. Even, devotees like generations after Prabhupada, they have that conviction. What to speak of Srila Prabhupada? Certainly not. Okay. So, can we read Bhagavad Gita? So we ended this chapter. So we'll begin the next chapter tomorrow. This chapter is entitled The Sons of Sagara Meet Lord Kapil Dev. So this 9th canto is full of stories, means history, but so many stories we will read. So next will be the sons. So still we are reading about the descendants of Ikshwaku Maharaj. So Bhagavad Gita. We'll read one more paragraph from the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. Material nature itself is constituted by three qualities: the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. Above these modes, there is eternal time, and by a combination of these modes of nature and under the control and purview of eternal time, there are activities which are called karma. Okay? By a combination of the modes under the control and purview of time, the activities that are happening are called karma. Karma means it has to be under the influence of the modes. That's karma. And it's also within the purview of time. These activities are being carried out from time immemorial, right? That's why karma means the existence of conditioned soul, right? Is anadi. Anadi means beginningless. That's why here it is said time immemorial. We don't know since when. These activities, karma, are being carried out from time immemorial. And we are suffering or enjoying the fruits of our activities. For instance, suppose I am a businessman and have worked very hard with intelligence and have amassed a great bank balance. Then I am an enjoyer. But then say I have lost all my money in business. Then I am a sufferer. Activity is same, right? I am a businessman and I have worked. But in one case, I become the enjoyer, and in another case, I become the sufferer. Similarly, in every field of life, we enjoy the results of our work or we suffer the results. This is called karma. So, of the 5 topics that we study in Bhagavad Gita, we read about karma today. We had read about Prakriti and then a little bit of Ishvara. We'll read more about Ishvara. Then today we read about karma. Next is Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. So Srila Prabhupada was now known in Butler, right? People were coming to Agarwal's home in the evenings, every evening, and Prabhupada would sit until 9:30, 10 in the night, answering their questions, telling them about his mission, etc. Right? And he was also invited to speak in different, colleges, YMCA, like that. Regularly, he was speaking to people about Krishna consciousness. When Professor Larson, the chairman of the philosophy department at Slippery Rock State College, read in the Butler Eagle of a visiting Indian Swami and Vedic scholar, he phoned the Agarwal's home to invite Prabhupada to lecture on campus. Alan Larson: I called the number given in the newspaper article, but it turned out that the Swamiji was actually staying in a room at the YMCA. When I arrived, he was waiting on the street corner and I picked him up. He seemed very much alone. When we were driving to Slippery Rock, I asked him to pronounce his name for me so I would have it right when I introduced him to my class. He said, Swamiji, Bhakti Vedanta. And then he proceeded to tell me what that meant. Since I was not used to Indian names, he had to repeat it several times before I got it right. He showed no impatience with my slowness. Even at this early junction of our association, I was convinced that this man had an inner stability and strength that would be very difficult to shake. And this initial impression was further reinforced throughout the rather busy day. So, 100 students from several classes had gathered to hear the lecture. As Prabhupada, in his natural, unrehearsed manner, walked down the aisle, up the 3 wooden steps, and onto the plain wooden stage. He sat down erect and cross-legged and began softly singing Hare Krishna, his eyes closed. Then he stood and spoke without a lectern or microphone and answered questions from the audience. The program lasted only 50 minutes and ended abruptly with a bell signaling the next class. So we'll continue tomorrow. If you note here, Srila Prabhupada went onto the stage and sat down cross-legged. So Srila Prabhupada sat on the stage. Usually they just go and stand there, isn't it? The professors would just stand there and they would speak. Srila Prabhupada first offered prayers. He sat down and sang Hare Krishna, and then he stood up, and then he took questions and answered. So we will stop there today. Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I just have one question. In the earlier Bhagavatam, King Harishchandra promised that he will sacrifice his son. But then why is he bringing his slave to sacrifice?
You will have to listen to yesterday's class for that.
Okay. No problem,
Yeah.
Mataji. I'll listen to it and then come back.
Yes,
Yes.
Mataji. And if you still have some questions, then you can ask about it.
Sure, Mataji.
Or you can just read the verses. When you read, it will explain that.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
I have another